South is the whole problem. And I'm sorry if you live there, and it is beautiful there. I lived in North Carolina for 5 years. Civil War, and they came up with an agreement for Reconstruction. They never punished the South. None of those guys went to jail. None of them got their wealth taken away. What they did to be kumbaya is they allowed them to be politicians again. And that's where all the Jim Crow shit came from. So that's what happens when you don't punish people. And if you're in the South, you know you're the whole problem.
I'm disgusted, and it's very evident that somebody needs to hear this. So I followed this person on TikTok, and I don't know them, but trying to, be supportive, build community. I went into their live and discovered that they are absolutely racist. They should be ashamed. I don't know if they have a mom, but if you're out there and your mother never told you, you shouldn't treat people like that. So I'm going to tell you, because my kids are mixed, and I'd be damned if someone spoke to them the way this person was speaking to another human being on that live. It's so frustrating. Like, I grew up in New York for a long time, and where I was at, we didn't have racism. Like, we all lived together peacefully, everybody. Like, I don't know what's happening in the world, where things went bad, but we need to fix it. We can't be like this with each other. We can't help who we are. And we shouldn't be trying to punish each other because of that. And that's it. That's my rant. Have a good night. That's just my 2 cents. I'm out.
But many of the old patterns of racism remain. In this video, we'll look at how racism has been built into South California's history, from slavery to segregation to modern laws, and what that means today. If you care about justice, identity, and what it means to really see others as equal, then stay with me. Let's get to it.
So you think you know what the South really is? I grew up in Mississippi in the Delta and was in Texas a lot. I spent a lot of time in Alabama, Tennessee. Georgia to me is the best. Like, Georgia is so amazing. But y'all, I moved to South Carolina 3 months ago from Georgia. I pretty much only shop at local farms. Like, I hardly have anything that's not from a local farm. So I go to Abbott Farms and Hobo Holler Farms, and Abbott Farms is the Abbott name is a huge place here. I understand that I'm in a red state. Y'all, I walked in today. They have the closest to me location closed for the season. So they have this one central location, and I went there. Y'all, I'm shook. I walked around the corner as I'm walking through shopping, and they had Charlie Kirk shirts. I don't think I can shop here anymore. And I'm so sad about it. I'm so sad about it. And I guess it's kind of like people who boycott Bud Light and Chick-fil-A and Target and stuff like that, but I just can't. I don't want to give my money to these people anymore, because the specific quotes that they had on these t-shirts that they had made of Charlie Kirk, with Charlie Kirk's signature and name, y'all, I mean, it was horrifying when you enter the state and you see this monumental Confederate flag. I mean, it is just disgusting. Mississippi has nothing on South Carolina. I had no idea until I moved here what it was really like. Mississippi's got nothing. It's the most red, most racist. I'm just mind blown. It's just so upsetting. It's so upsetting. It just really is so upsetting. Oh my God. But the difference is like people who are boycotting like Bud Light and the NFL, like, it's just completely different. Like, I'm boycotting racism, misogyny, stealing of our basic civil liberties and rights, and I'm all for basic human decency, and these people are the opposite. They're about stealing civil liberties and rights, and they're about racism, and they're proud. They're so proud. As you enter the state, there's a huge Confederate flag saying, "Welcome to South Carolina, we're racist." Oh my God. I'm sad now.
Y'all, I don't do racist stuff. I was taught to love everybody equally. Black, white, Mexican, Dominican, all races. I was taught to love them equally, because the only thing different about us is how our skin color is. That's it. So, in South Carolina, it's already been bad, worse, not getting any better. And it's not. And since Trump been in the office, it's like they have even more intensified being racist. And I'm going to tell you this. I'm not going to personally deal with somebody being racist. I ran across the issue back in June when I was visiting my grandmother in the hospital before she passed, where I was coming home and there was somebody flying a Confederate flag in their yard. And they pulled out in front of me and was waving their flag. I nicely just sat my piece on my lap, because I'm not doing it. I'm not finna argue. I'm not finna fight. You're not finna say racial slurs to me. You're not finna do that, because I'm the type of person that respect people, and if you don't respect me, then it's up from there. So y'all racist people in South Carolina are getting a little too bold, knowing this is an open carry state. And I'm pretty sure you have weapons too, and I know you do. But at the end of the day, people don't want to deal with that. So law enforcement, whoever need to step in and make it peaceful, because us, my people, as y'all say, we ain't dealing with it. Y'all gonna lay where y'all play it. That's just in a discussion.
Hi guys, I'm back. I know I have been inconsistent for a minute, but I was going through shit. But let me tell you, so I'm back at home, right? And ever since I got home, I just noticed the shift of me, like, leaving Atlanta and coming back to South Carolina. If you guys don't know, yes, I am from South Carolina, the upstate type area, blah, blah, blah. Just coming down to see family every time when I come down here, I literally just be so shocked and so, like, surprised sometimes still how much racism it still is in South Carolina. Like, for example, if y'all didn't know, recently it was a little thing going on down there in Charleston where a group of black people were basically told that they can't come inside of a facility because of a dress code, right? In so many words, it was so dumb because the place didn't have a dress code. And then not only that, guys, it's just the stares that I get from being a black girl and the type of car that I have. The car isn't nothing special. It's literally just a Mustang. Cool. But it's just so shocking just to see the looks and the stares that these people give me. And then another thing is the police officers. If y'all don't know, every time I come home, I get pulled over. It doesn't matter what it is. I get pulled over every time. And that is just because of like the type of car it is. Every time they pull me over, I get the exact same thing. How can a girl like you afford a car like that? And I just literally shake my head. The last time I got pulled over, I had my mom in the car with me. And she was like, what does that have to do with anything? Another thing, too, is South Carolina is so dismotivated. It's no motivation here. It's an old state, so everyone moves slow. Everything is just so slow. And it's just like everybody's okay with being in a box. Like, I don't see anybody, like, I don't know how to explain it, but it's just, yeah. And that's another thing why I moved, is because being from South Carolina, you just notice, like, once you graduate, you go get a job, you get an apartment, or you end up pregnant. And it's so amazing seeing people like me that have came from South Carolina, do Dennis that has came from South Carolina, and many other people that have came from South Carolina, basketball players that went to the NBA, people that have went to the NFL. Like, South Carolina has so much talent. It's just literally the state. Like, we don't get enough recognition down here. And that's not anybody's fault but the state. We don't even have our own fucking football team. Yeah, we share a football team with North Carolina, the Carolina Panthers. That just goes to show how the state is. And then it's just like they live in the fucking past, like the freaking past. They don't understand that it gets to a point where you grow. My bad, guys, for the muffling thing. I didn't know that my hand was blocking it. I apologize, but hopefully you guys understand what I'm saying. I'm literally just trying to spread awareness for this because it's actually really sad, and I hope that everyone understands. It doesn't matter where you come from, you can make it out. You just have to put towards, like, put the work towards, and just remember that God is always on your side, and always have faith. But another thing too, guys, your girl is dropping tomorrow for her clothing brand, so I can't wait to see y'all there. Make sure y'all click that link in the bio. I love you.
Okay, this is my part 2, talking about colorism in Khmer society and just how messy and contradictory it is, which ironically allowed me to learn to love my skin more no matter what. So we already know white or lighter skin is the Asian beauty standard. But specifically in Khmer, Cambodian society, something I've noticed since living here is while people think Kon Khmer Kat Jen or Kat Barang, whatever, are more beautiful, ironically there's such a huge anti-Chinese sentiment, and also to a lesser extent anti-French sentiment for historical, political, even current economic reasons. So then on the flip side, there's this pride in being Khmer Sot or pure Khmer, as I talked about in my last video. And I talk about this because I hear this in daily conversation. Like, people will openly make fun of Gonkat, like mixed Khmer kids, and basically be like, oh, they're not full Khmer. And then they'll be like, oh, you're like Khmer uncle, like our ancestors, you're so dark, implying that they're less beautiful because they're so dark and that they should be lighter. Like, people literally will say that they're so dark in a negative way, like they wish they weren't as dark. Or on the other hand, they'll see somebody with light skin and be like, oh, they're so beautiful, like their skin is so white. So you want people to have lighter skin and perhaps Western features, but then you want them to be pure Khmer and speak Khmer fluently and know everything about Khmer. Like, it's not adding up. And then for me personally, I'm Khmer Kat Jen, like I am mixed or Chinese. So I have lighter skin, my features are different. A lot of people look at me, they don't think I'm Khmer right away, or at all, which is another whole thing. And then for me, growing up in the US, everybody wants darker skin. Especially for Cambodian Americans, a lot of us take pride in having darker skin. So I always loved how much darker I would get in the summertime or when I was out in the sun. And then coming here to Cambodia, everybody would compliment my whiter skin. And I was just like, it was really hard for me to grasp because I initially was like, this is just wrong. And then I realized, like, we shouldn't be wanting our skin color to be any other color than it already is. So this whole, like, mess about colorism in Cambodia and Khmer society made me realize, like, okay, this is my skin color. I love it. And if you have darker skin, love that. If you have lighter skin, love that. But stop trying to, use whitening creams. It's so bad for your skin. Stop trying to tan, especially not using sunscreen to look darker. That's also bad for your skin. And then stop making comments about people's skin color. Honestly, I feel like there's so much more that could be said about this topic, but this is a long video, so if you made it this far, thank you for watching. Also, wear sunscreen, not so that your skin doesn't get darker, but to protect your skin.
I never realized how bad the propaganda about racism in the South was until I met people from the North, and they assumed that the South was more racist than the North, because the racism I dealt with in New York City is unlike anything I've ever seen in my life. And I'm from Memphis, Tennessee, and I spent a lot of time in Atlanta, Georgia. But then people will come down to the South and it's like, oh my God, it's really cool. Oh my God, I didn't expect them to be so progressive. Like, bro, the North is racist. don't know if y'all did know or not, dude, the North is racist. My friends was getting stopped for drugs everywhere we look. We ain't never been through that in Tennessee. My friends, we was getting racially profiled. Every time I try to go to my friend, they had a nicer building. They'll stop me and be like, "Oh, do you live here? Are you sure you live here?" Like, I will literally walk in with my friend and get stopped by the front desk. Because I was a different race. Do you live here? Ain't never happened to me in the South. But for some reason, everybody north is like, yeah, I just think we're more progressive. You're not.
Now, let's start from the roots. South Carolina's history is deep and twinned with slavery. The state had one of the largest enslaved African Americans population in colonial and antebellum America. After emancipation and during Reconstruction, African Americans gained new rights, but many white South Carolinians pushed back hard. Segregation laws and Jim Crow emerged to enforce second-class citizenship for black people. One example, between 1882 and 1980, lynching was a tool of racial terror in the state to suppress black political and social life. Now, middle 20th century and civil rights, moving into mid 19th, and the civil rights movement began to challenge legalized suggestions and voting discrimination. In South Carolina, many black citizens were still prevented from voting, keeping out the office, and schools remained segregated. For example, the system of equalization schools in the 1950s was designed so that black schools improved just enough so that separate schools could continue. Yet the separation itself remained unfair. This year shows that while laws changed, many attitudes and structures remained. Now, let's talk about the current manifestation. Now, let's talk about how racism still shows up in South Carolina today. One is in education. There are still debates over how Black history is taught, what is included in the curricula, and how much students understand the history injustice. The second one is political and social, where the legacy of voting suppression, unequal representation, and economic disparities remains. The third one is symbols and public memory. Monuments, flags like the Confederate flag, and how they are treated in public life carry a powerful message about how history still continues. Even if overseas suggestion is gone, the effects are still felt. Now, why should we care? Because racism isn't just past history, it's shaped lives now, it's shaping the lives right now. It affects how people are treated in school, work, their neighborhoods, how much opportunity they get. It affects identity. If you grow up in a place where your ancestors were enslaved, or when your skin color still limits you, you might carry wounds, pride, hunger, and hope. It affects peace and community. If one group feels ignored, second class, or unsafe, the whole society suffers. For a lens of faith, if we believe everyone is made in the image of God, then racism is a spiritual wound as well as the social one. It says some are lesser than others, which is opposite of truth and dignity for all. Now, let's talk about hope and action. Here are some particular thoughts. Learn the full history. Know the story of South Carolina, the good, the bad, the hidden. That knowledge empowers. Have real conversation with your community, with friends, family. Ask, where do people feel excluded? How can we improve it? Support equality in schools, in hiring, in public policy. When you see that some people aren't getting the same chance, speak or act. Reflect internally. What biases might I hold? What assumptions do I make about others because of race or place or stereotype? Build communities across different bridge divides and encourage people of all race to share, listen, and collaborate. Remember, progress won't come just by changing laws. It comes as people's hearts change. And peace comes when we honor every person worth. Now, thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. I would love to hear from you. What are your thoughts on racism in South California? What surprised you about South California history, if you know their history? And have you or someone you know experience a situation where race made a difference in how you were treated? Drop your thoughts in the comment section. Let us have a discussion about this. Let us teach each other in the comment section and have quite a nice discussion about this. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Let me see you on the next video.